Almost 6 months ago, I posted my first video about the Synology DS223J and if it's worth in 2024. Now, 6 months later, I want to give you my full review of this device, how I use it, and if it's actually worth it. So let's discuss about it. Now, the first thing we're going to discuss about is that this device is perfect to replace Google Photos or OneDrive or even iCloud for some reason. Now, you get an application from Synology with everything that you need and will literally do all the work for you. But it's not perfect, so this is the problem that you will have right now. If you have an iPhone device, then the application will have some problems. Mostly because of the iPhone limitation, the application cannot auto backup all your pictures in the background. So either you have to turn on the app, or open the app manually and then plug your iPhone to charge, or you have to open the app manually and just stay on the screen there until it backups everything. So let me show you what I'm talking about with the iPhone. So if I go here and I open Synology Photos, how you can see here I have all of my pictures, right? Now if I just go and make a random picture here, then once I go back to Synology, let me just close it to refresh it. Once I go back to Synology, I also get this pop-up here saying that the phone was disconnected, the application was closed force, so you won't help me. So once I open Synology now, I go to more here. Now it's going to reconnect to Synology because I closed the application, right? So how you can see is backing up. I have a lot of things to back up. But if I tap here, keep backing up in the background. Due to iOS limitation, we recommend charging your device while backing up to keep it stable in the background. So this means that iOS is literally closing the application by itself to save power, which is not fair if you ask me. If I'm using an application, I give her permission to run in the background, it's running in the background. But this is the problem that you will have with an iPhone. If you have an Android device, then there won't be a problem with this one. It will do everything in the background, so it will be perfect for you. But if you don't have an iPhone, keep in mind of this limitation. This limitation is not because of Synology, it's because of the iPhone. So do remember it. But the application, it does what it's supposed to do. Now it doesn't have the feature, for example, from Google Photos when you can magic erase and things like this. No, it's just a normal application to back up your pictures and videos that you take with your phone and all your other devices that Synology is connected to, which is perfect. For my opinion, this is what I want. And even though it doesn't have all these features, it does what it says. It will back up your pictures and back up your videos, which is amazing. And like this, you don't have to pay Google for it. Now, the other thing that I'm using it is for Plex. Now, with Plex, I can watch my own movies and I can stream my own music. So it's a replacement for Netflix and Spotify, for example. And I have to admit, with Plex, it's working perfectly. Now, before I bought this device, I had a lot of reviews and, look at other YouTubers that they were saying that it will struggle with Plex. But it doesn't. So let me explain, because in a way it does, in a way it doesn't. So you have your home network, which is, for example, my house, right? In my own house, when you're watching a Plex movie, you don't need any transcoding. Now, what transcoding is, think about like a conversion. Plex is converting the movie so you can watch it on different devices. Now, because this is local, so it's in your own house, Plex doesn't use transcoding or the conversion. It just plays the movie how it will normally do. You think about, you open VLC on your Mac or your Windows and you just get play with VLC. This is what Plex is doing. It's playing the movie. So it doesn't require any transcoding. And for this, you can watch movies up to 4K with no problems. Now, the problem comes when you're leaving the house or if you have family that you want to give access to. Now, they can watch movies. The only problem is, when they're watching outside your house, that will mean that Plex have to use transcoding. So it needs to transcode the video over the internet. Now, this is the Plex server. And how you can see here, I do have Synology and Unraid. So I'll go with Synology. And here in the Synology, how you can see, I have my own movies here. So I can hit play on one of the movie, continue for where it was. It will load a little bit. And now I'm watching the movie, and you won't have any problems watching some of the movies here in Plex using the Synology. It works perfectly. Now, how you can see, this is a 1080p movie, so it's not a 4K movie. How you can see here, it's a 1080p. But if I go to movies here again, here it is. So this one, how you can see, 4K HDR. Again, I click resume, start from beginning or wherever you are. If it, for some reason, I think it's more like a bug, I don't know what's the problem. If you start all over again with the movie, it runs perfectly, starts almost immediately. but if you do continue, it does take a little bit. But how you can see, a 4K movie is running on my computer using the Synology with no problem. And it's the same when you're going to use an application for TV or iPhone, Android, etc. You don't have any problem running 4K movie locally. Now let's try using the mobile phone using our SIM to see how that goes. Now how you can see here, I have Plex installed here. We're going to open Plex and we're going to go. How you can see, I have a 5G network here, so I'm using 5G. I go to my home, and here at the moment when I go to Synology, how you can see Unraid and Synology, they are both blacked, well, gray a little bit until the network connects. Then I'm clicking on movies, and then I'm going to click on the same 4K. And here is where we're going to wait a little bit. While we wait a little bit, let's connect to the server so we can see the stacks that we're seeing right now to see how the processor is going, etc. on the Synology. Now keep in mind, this is a mobile connection, so different than a mobile Wi-Fi, well, than a Wi-Fi and things like this if you do have it. But let's see, put it here. Synology is booting up, and how you can see, let me just change here. My Synology is literally 98% trying to make a 4K movie. It's impossible. He won't be able to play this 4K for me. This is what I'm talking about. So the moment you're seeing there 98%, that means Synology is almost at full maximum power. He can't go more than that. So 4K movies, there's no chance of you watching it. But if you go to a 1080p movie, for example, again, I'm still on 5G, how you can see here, and you click resume here, you wait a little bit, and how you can see there, Synology, it's already 26% because it doesn't have to transcode that much. Now the movie still didn't start, it's still loading, and especially because of 5G, it's not the best connection what I'm having at the moment. But how you can see, now we run on the 84%. The idea is, and how you can see, the server is not powerful enough. The idea is 1080p movie, you can watch it. Once it's loaded a little bit, we can watch it. But if you're looking here, I'm literally 98% running this. Because probably it needs to reduce the quality as well so you can watch it on mobile phone. Because again, my signal is not the best one. So this is what I'm talking about. 4K movies, you won't be able to watch it outside your house. 1080p, yes, but 4K, no. But if you're watching 5 movies in your own house that doesn't require transcoding, and one person is watching outside the house, which will make it 6 movies in total, then it will work perfectly, because again, it doesn't require transcoding in your house. So the processor doesn't even start, it doesn't even feel it. So it will just focus on the person watching outside of the house. So for inside and local is perfect. Outside of your house is kind of hit and miss, because outside of your house it does require transcoding. Now when it comes to music, music does require transcoding, but it's a very small amount of transcoding. So you can give access to about 3 users to listen to your own music. So make them like a family pack, right? You can give access to about 3 users to listen to music from your Synology in the same time. You can probably push it with 4 a little bit. I didn't have more devices so I can check, so 3 is the maximum that I was using it, and I got to about 68%, so I'm pretty sure you can push it to 4. And here is the same problem. If you're listening to music from your own house, then that's no problem because there's no transcoding. If you're listening to music outside of your house, then it will require transcoding. Now with music, for example, using Plex on the Synology, you can also download the songs from Plex to your Plex application. You get an application called Plex Amp, which is like a Spotify replacement. So you don't need to transcode all the time. You can click download on the songs, and the songs will be downloaded into your Plex app. Something like Spotify download. It downloads it and you can only listen it to the Spotify app. Now let's try some music. So how you can see, I have here Plex Amp, and I'm still on 5G. So if I go here on Plex Amp and I'll go to YouTube Music, I have here some music that I can play without getting any copyrights. I click play on this one, it will load a little bit, and now the sound started. Now I do have noise reduction for music on the microphone, so probably you're not going to hear it too well, but how you can see, the music is playing and the processor doesn't even struggle. So listening to music using Plex and the Synology is perfect because you won't have any problems. You know, I changed the song, how you can see, I just click next, it's already starting, and it's like Spotify. Now you can download the music if you want to, but then what's the point? There's no point of downloading the music because it will work perfectly, depending how many users you have on the account. That's how you can listen to your own music and watch your own movies without paying any more subscriptions using the Synology and some USB hard drives. This is what Plex does. The moment you download them, then that one doesn't require any transcoding. So it's more like offline listening that doesn't require any transcoding. So for things like this, then it will work perfectly. You don't have any problems. It just works. But if you do require every single time when you listen to music the internet because you don't want to download them in your phone, then yes, that will mean transcoding, and this will limit you to the amount of users that you can use with your music. Now, when it comes to Synology, so we all know that you have to put your own hard drives. And for example, I do have only 2 hard drives installed in the Synology. I have 1 terabyte hard drive in one bay and 1 terabyte hard drive in one bay, so in total of 2 terabytes. But I also have USB drives, so you can plug in a USB drive and you can use it as a storage. For example, my movies are all installed on the USB drive, and Plex is just working from the USB drive, even though it's not the official hard drive from Synology, because they simply work. So if you want to add more storage, even though it's a 2-bay device, you can also use the true USB drives from the back. You have 2 USB ports that you can plug in whatever device you want, and if you plug in a USB drive or a USB hard drive or USB SSD, then they will work perfectly. Now, to install Plex, for example, because most of the people, they're having some problems installing Plex, all you have to do is literally just go to Synology and log in. After that, just open Container Manager, because Plex officially is not supported in the App Store that you get from Synology. They don't support it, but you do get an application called Container Manager. So if you go to the App Store, just download Container Manager. And simply from Container Manager, then there you can download the application that they run. Well, they work on Linux, not on Synology, but Synology is Linux. So using Container Manager, you can download the official Plex application for Linux. Once you download this one, you just set it up. By setting it up, that means that you have to literally say where the movies are, which is very easy to do. Once this is set up, you just start the container and voila, everything is working. I will leave a link in the description below on how to install Plex. A super easy way. It's a tutorial that I used from a website that I used when I first bought this device so I can install Plex, and I will leave you guys there so you can check it out. So yeah, at the end of the day, does it worth it? Depending on what you actually use it for. Now, I don't use it to host any websites and things like this, things that you can actually do with Synology, and I don't use it to make backup drives and things like this. No, I just use it as a hard drive on my network, then use my Plex and back up my pictures and videos, and for this one it's perfect. And when it comes to hard drive over the network, I want to show you guys how it literally works perfectly and integrates with Windows or macOS like their own hard drive. So let's discuss about this thing a little bit. So this is my Windows PC, and here I'm going to show you what I'm talking about with Synology over the internet. So if I go to this PC here, how you can see I have multiple hard drives here. So if I make it like this, then you will see it. So device and driver. So this is the hard drive that I have installed inside the computer. And this is my network hard drives. So here I have an on-RAID, which is this two that I'm having a computer over the internet. Here I'm having a WD MyCloud. Here is a Raspberry Pi 4. And this is the Synology that I'm talking about. So in here I got my movies and my TV shows. This is both external hard drives. And here I have my home and the 1 terabyte PC. So my home is 1 terabyte as well, but it's the original hard drive that I put when I bought the Synology. And this one is just another hard drive that I just found in the house and then plugged it in so I can put files and everything there. And how you can see, for example, if I access this and go to emulators, and here I got PS3 games for my emulator. If I paste it here, this is the speed that you're copy and pasting with. Now, having this speed on all devices connected, so you can connect, via Windows, macOS, Linux, iPhone, Android. You can connect to this hard drive with every single device possible, as long as you're in your network hard drive. When you're outside the hard drive, you can still access your files from the Synology using the Synology application, but of course the speed will go down because it depends on your upload speed from the house and on the download speed from the area where you're trying to download it. But how you can see, it's super fast. It works perfectly without any problem. Now, having things like this here, you can actually install games on this Synology. Well, literally no problem. The only problem is that you won't be able to play online games. Now, when you install an online game, you will have normally anti-cheat. Now, having an anti-cheat on the network, it doesn't work. So you have to install games, for example, that doesn't require anti-cheats. But if you do go to Steam, let me show you here what I'm talking about. So the emulators here, so how you can see, my hard drive is letter Z, right? So if I do go to Steam here, but for example, if I go, I don't know, choose this game and hit install, I actually have my hard drive to install it. Now, if I click install on the game, it will literally start install the game like a normal hard drive because it doesn't do nothing special, it just install the game. Now, this installation and how the game will run depending on the hard drive. My hard drive that I have in this 1TB one, it's a really old one, regular hard drive, 3.5 regular hard drive, so it's not the fastest one possible. You will still get 100 megabytes when you copy and pasting, don't get me wrong, but then on a long term, keeping it for 10 minutes with 100 megabytes, then you're losing speed with time. And another thing, if you are playing games over the network and somebody's watching a Plex movie, he might have problem because it doesn't require any transcoding, so the processor Synology is fine with this one, but you will have problem because the hard drive, if it's not fast enough, it can't run fast enough to give you the speed of the game and the speed to run the movie, so the hard drive may slow down this thing. But how you can see, I'm actually installing a game right now from Steam on the hard drive from Synology. Now you can do things like this with all clients. You can install with Steam, with Epic Store. The only one that you have problems is Microsoft Store. If you buy games from Microsoft Store, for some reason that doesn't work properly. But here, how you can see, is running perfectly because the computer treats it as its own hard drive. So in my opinion, it does work if you want, depending what you use for. But if you want fast hard drive to get a fast hard drive, or even an SSD, you can connect SSDs if you want to on this thing, or just buy an external SSD, plug it in into the Synology, and like this you'll have it with you everywhere you go, and it will be perfect because, you know, it's an SSD, so it's going to be fast enough. So for example, this one I can just paste it, stop it, remove it because I don't want to play it. And here, let's try to play it. Now, from my experience, I don't think this one is a online game, so I'm pretty sure it will work. But we will see. Keep in mind, you cannot install online games on the network because anti-cheat doesn't work on online games. But how you can see, this one is working. The game started and it's installed on the Synology. Again, the game will run depending on the speed of the hard drive, so do keep this in mind, okay? If your hard drive is slow, then the game will have problems. And also, you need this requirement to play the game, so your computer has to be powerful enough, and then the hard drive over the network has to be powerful enough. Do keep in mind. But how you can see, I'm playing a game. I do have sound, but I muted the sound for the sake of this video. And how do I get what's this one? Oh, it's a new game coming. Okay, so I hit start, skip, and how you can see, I did had a little bit of lag there, but yeah, the game ran perfectly and it's installed on the Synology. Now the real question is, does this worth it? In my opinion, I will still say yes, depending on what you want to do with it. This device is pretty amazing to do most of the stuff that you want to. But if you're looking for a more powerful one and even cheaper one, for example, I will post a video, I'm working on it right now, on how to build an Unraid server. Now Unraid, how you can see, is the one that I'm having here. And with Unraid, I can have all the things that I said with Synology, but I can also have Windows installed over the server. So I'll show you right now a sneak peek, let's call it like this, with what I mean. So the moment I'm logging here into Unraid, how you can see, I do have Windows 11 as a virtual machine, which is stopped at the moment. But if I turn it on, then I can access Windows 11 from any computer, and I can do my own things in Windows 11 because it's going to be a remote desktop, remote computer that is running on this server, so you can connect with all devices. It doesn't matter if you have an iPhone, Android, macOS, another Windows computer, Linux, all devices can connect to this thing. So then it's actually cheaper to make. It's cheaper to make it, to make this computer that I'm using right now, the server is cheaper to make than buying a Synology. So depending on what you want, if you want a simple thing, just plug and play, Synology is the perfect thing for you, and how you can see, you can do some amazing things with it. But if you want a more powerful thing, a more, you know, complex thing, then probably the Unraid video would be the one perfect for you. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you do want to learn how to make your own server, and if you want to see more videos from me. And I will see you guys in the next one.